This is a story of tiger parenting gone wrong. For those who don't know, tiger parenting is a form of strict parenting, whereby parents are highly invested in ensuring their children's success. Specifically, tiger parents push their children to attain high levels of academic achievement or success in high-status extracurricular activities such as music or sports. While the parents might think they're doing their best for their children, the children might not. In some cases, the children become resentful of their parents, and in the case of Jennifer Pan, she even hired people to murder her parents twice. Jennifer Pan was born on June 17, 1986 in Ontario, Canada. Her mother, Bik Ha Pan, and her father, Hui Han Pan, immigrated to Canada in the late 1970s as refugees. They were married in Toronto and lived in Scarborough. Other than Jennifer, the couple had another child, Felix, Jennifer's younger brother, who was born in 1989. The Pans both worked at an auto parts manufacturer in Aurora, Ontario. They lived frugally, and by 2004, they managed to buy a large home with a 2-car garage on a quiet residential street in Markham, a city in the Greater Toronto Area, with a large Asian population. They also managed to buy 2 expensive cars, a Mercedes-Benz for Han and a Lexus ES300 for Bic. Not only that, but the couple has also accumulated more than $200,000 in the bank. They were the classic examples of the Canadian immigrant success story. They achieved success by working hard and saving money, and they wanted their children to build on their success. Bic and Han wanted their children to have an even better work ethic and discipline. They started from nothing, but their kids would be able to have a better starting point. Surely the kids have to be better than them. This desire turned into an obsession for Han. He wanted Jennifer to be the perfect daughter. Han and Bic enrolled Jennifer in piano classes at age 4. And it wasn't for nothing. She had talent in music. By elementary school, she racked up a trophy case full of awards. But their focus was elsewhere, on figure skating. Jennifer also attained figure skating practices and had hoped to compete at the national level. She and her parents even have their sights on the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver. But this puts enormous pressure on little Jennifer. Some nights during elementary school, she would come home from skating practice at 10 p.m., do homework until midnight, then head to bed. The burden on her was too much that she began cutting herself. Little horizontal cuts on her forearms. From the outside, Jennifer looked like a friendly, confident girl. But it was all a facade. Beneath it, she was tormented by feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and shame. When she failed to win first place at skating competitions, her parents, especially her dad, would be disappointed in her. Jennifer herself would be devastated, but she tried to appear fine in front of her parents. She didn't want to add worry to their disappointment. However, all of these pressures and hard work would be for nothing, because Jennifer suffered an injury to her knee ligament during one practice session. She was told that she could never skate again. With their hope of a career as a figure skater vanished, Jennifer's parents turned their attention to school. They wanted her to excel in school. Their methods, by controlling every aspect of her life. Jennifer's father, Han, was the classic tiger dad, and her mother, Bic, was his reluctant accomplice. They would pick Jennifer up from school at the end of the day, monitor her extracurricular activities, and forbade her from attending dances, which Han considered as unproductive activity. Parties were off limits and boyfriends were forbidden until after university. When Jennifer was permitted to attend a sleepover at a friend's house, Bic and Han dropped her off late at night and picked her up early the following morning. By age 22, she had never gone to a club, been drunk, visited a friend's cottage, or gone on vacation without her family. To her parents, their overprotective behavior was born from love and concern, but to Jennifer and her friends, it was like living under a cruel dictatorship. Her friends would testify that her parents were absolutely controlling. Her parents would never compliment her and even played down her achievements. This made Jennifer crave their approval. She was also terrified of the mere thought of disappointing them. and Jennifer had been the perfect daughter throughout elementary school. Despite her piano lessons and figure skating practices, she maintained top grades in elementary school up until grade 8. As graduation from grade 8 loomed, Jennifer expected to be named valedictorian and to collect a handful of medals for her academic achievements, but she received none, and she wasn't named valedictorian. She was stunned, yet, instead of expressing her devastation, she buried it under her happy mask. This was when her grades started falling. Halfway through the 9th grade, she was averaging 70% in all subjects, with the exception of music, in which she excelled. This might be an acceptable grade in other families, but not in the Pan household. Jennifer was so terrified of showing this to her parents that she made a fake report card with straight A's. She told herself it wasn't a big deal since universities didn't consider marks from grades 9 and 10 for admission. She continued to doctor her report cards throughout high school, despite earning mostly B's, a respectable grade for most kids. She received early acceptance to Ryerson University, but then failed calculus in her final year and wasn't able to graduate. The university withdrew its offer. Desperate to keep her parents from digging into her high school records, she lied and said she'd be starting at Ryerson in the fall. By now, she was an expert at forging school report cards, so she forged her high school diploma and an acceptance letter from Ryerson. She also forged papers stating that she was receiving a scholarship, so her dad didn't have to pay tuition. And at this point, her lies weren't just directed at her parents. She was also lying to her friends, appearing as a normal university student in front of them. Lying is becoming second nature to her. So every day she would pretend to go to university only to sit in cafes most of the time. She also got a job as a piano instructor and worked as a waitress to earn money. After 2 years at Ryerson, she claimed that she had accepted an offer into the pharmacology program at the University of Toronto. Her dad was elated at this news as it was what he wanted. He bought her a laptop for her study. She would then purchase second-hand textbooks and go to the library to make fake notes that she could show her parents. Jennifer also requested permission from her parents to stay near the campus with a friend throughout the week. Her mother, worried about the long commute, persuaded Han to grant her permission. However, she was actually staying with her boyfriend, Daniel Chi Kwang Wong, whom she had met in high school. He was a student in the same high school as Jennifer, but later transferred to another high school in his senior year because of low grades. He was also charged with drug trafficking after cops found a half a pound of marijuana in his car. But eventually, her parents would find out about all her deceptions. It all started when she claimed to be working as a volunteer for the hospital for sick children. The job sometimes required late-night shifts on Fridays and weekends, so she suggested that she should spend more of the week with her friend. But Han grew suspicious because she did not have a hospital ID badge or uniform. So one time, Bick followed her daughter to work and quickly discovered all her lies. Han was livid and wanted to throw Jennifer out of the house, but Bick persuaded him to allow her to stay. She was allowed to stay, but she was even more restricted by her parents. She was forbidden from contacting Wong or going anywhere except for her piano teaching job. She had to finish high school and was later encouraged by her parents to apply to university. Despite these restrictions, she and Wong spoke secretly during this period. But Wong eventually grew wary of their relationship as she was so daunted and restricted by her parents that they could only meet in secret. Wong broke off their relationship in 2010 and began seeing another woman. After learning of Wong's new relationship, Pan claimed to Wong that his new girlfriend had sent men disguised as police to attack and gang rape her. She claimed that after this, a bullet was mailed to her. She managed to get Wong back, and this time they had a plan to make it work. They would get rid of the one thing obstructing Jennifer, her father. She contacted a high school friend by the name of Andrew Montemayor, who introduced her to Ricardo Duncan. Jennifer paid Duncan $1,500 to kill her father in the parking lot at his workplace. Duncan didn't do the deed asked of him. Jennifer and Wong hatched another plan. They would hire a professional hitman for $10,000 to kill both her parents. She would then inherit $500,000 and they can start their life together. Wong gave her a SIM card and an iPhone so that she could contact the hitman, known as Homeboy, without using her usual phone. Homeboy was a man named Lenford Roy Crawford. Crawford contacted 2 other men for the job, Eric Sean Sniper Carty and David Mulvaganam. One night on November 8, 2010, when her brother wasn't home, Jennifer went downstairs to unlock the front door and said goodnight to her mother. Shortly afterward, the 3 people entered the home while carrying guns. After demanding all the money in the house and ransacking the main bedroom, the men took Bick and Han to the basement. Meanwhile, another man was guided by Jennifer to a safe containing $2,000. The man then tied her hand and left her. In the basement, the men covered Bick's and Han's head with a sheet and shot them multiple times. Han was shot twice, once in the face and once in the shoulder, while Bick was shot 3 times in the head and died instantly. Pan claimed that she managed to free her hands and dial 911.
What's your name?
My name is Jennifer.
Someone just broke in?
Someone broke in and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening. I'm tied upstairs.
Does it sound like gunshots?
I don't know what a gunshot sounds like. I just heard a pop.
Midway through the call, she heard Han moaning in the background.
I'm okay! My dad just went outside screaming.
Do you think your mom is downstairs too?
I don't hear her anymore.
He managed to survive. Han crawled up the stairs to the main floor. Jennifer yelled down that she was calling 911. Han stumbled outside, screaming wildly, and encountered his startled neighbor, who was about to leave for work. In the driveway next door, the neighbor called 911. Police and an ambulance arrived at the scene minutes later, and Han was rushed to a nearby hospital. The police interviewed Jennifer, who claimed that the men were looking for money, but soon they began to find holes in her testimony. The intruders didn't take the car when the keys were in plain view by the front door. They also didn't bring things like crowbars or backpacks to carry the loot. And more importantly, why did they try to kill 2 witnesses and left one to survive? A few days later, Han woke up from his coma and gave his testimony. He remembered everything, including 2 troubling details. He recalled seeing his daughter chatting softly, like a friend, he said, with one of the intruders, and that her arms were not tied behind her back while she was being led round the house. The police brought her in once more for questioning, and she started changing her stories. She claimed that she hired the men to take her own life, but things went wrong and they shot her parents. She was arrested on the spot. Later, relying on the analysis of cell phone calls and texts, they arrested Wong, Mulvaganam, Carty, and Crawford. Jennifer and her accomplices were all charged with first-degree murder, attempted murder, and conspiracy to commit murder. Jennifer Wong, Mulvaganam, and Crawford were all found guilty and convicted on December 13, 2014. They all received a life sentence with no chance of parole for 25 years. Carty, who was originally tried with the other perpetrators, had a mistrial because his lawyer fell ill. In December 2015, Carty pled guilty and received an 18-year sentence with eligibility for parole after 9 years. Having listened to this story up to this point, surely one must wonder, could this tragedy have been avoided by better parenting? Were Jennifer's parents too strict with her that it caused her to develop a murderous tendency? Or could it have been avoided if she had better friends around her whom she could be 100% honest with? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Press the like button and share if you like this video. Subscribe and follow this channel for more true crime stories. See you on another true crime video.